Hey guys, it's ESG. As promised, here's the video on financial independence. And I just wanted to give an explanation to you guys about how I got into the position where I could choose to take an extremely low paying job and be okay with that and be financially stable. So essentially, it comes from financial independence philosophy. And I have studied that for years and years and years. I decided to take this journey 3.5 years ago. The main tenets of financial independence is overhead cost reduction, backing that up with passive income investments. You combine those two things and can make this snowball effect where your net worth increases, and then without working, you have enough money to live off of. There are sacrifices. You do have to make a lot of sacrifices and learn a lot of skills to get here. But I'm just going to go over a broad overview of how you could do this yourself. It may require you to go back to school and get different skills to get a better type of job. It just so happened that I had a job that made a decent amount of money, enough to where I could save. I saved like 60% of my income. And then over time, that ended up to be a lot of money. Let's talk about the passive income portion of financial independence. This is the easy part. Now, you may think like the overhead cost reduction is the easy part. No, the passive income investment is incredibly easy. And I'll talk to you about a few other ones. I had to kind of meditate on this quite a long time to figure out where my passive income streams would come from. But here in America, I know a lot of my viewers are not American. We have a way of putting money into a retirement account tax-free, and it grows tax-free. And then after you're retired, you can draw money out and basically you get taxed at that point. But you could choose how much money you draw out. So I could choose to draw out like $20,000 a year and live off of that and leave the rest of the money in there so that it grows over time. And this is the investment, the S&P 500 here, that is the mainstay of my investments. So you could go into exchange traded funds, or you could go into like Vanguard funds are really good. They're very low cost. This one is VTI. As you can see, the graph is the same as the S&P 500. So what is VTI? What is S&P 500? Well, S&P 500 is an index of the top 500 stocks in the United States. And typically over time, as you could tell, like this is the max range. It has not gone down over a 10-year period. It has always gone up. So you put your money here, you forget about it, and then you get out of paying taxes by putting this money into your 401k. If you access it before the age of, I believe it's 65, you get a 10% penalty, but it doesn't matter because the money grows tax-free. So it grows in an exponential fashion, like a snowball fashion. So that's your passive income investments. You could also do solar panels like I've done. You could also invest in electric cars. This is an expensive electric car, but over time, you make a lot of money off of the ownership of an electric car. So basically, I had a job where I was given mileage reimbursement. In other words, my company pays me to drive, and that reimbursement is tax-free. And that's supposed to reimburse the depreciation of my vehicle. However, there is no depreciation on a Tesla Model 3. I've owned the car for 4 years. I could sell it for exactly what I purchased it for. I guarantee you. How much money has it cost? Well, it's cost me about $1,000 in replacing the tires twice, period. No extra cost. There have been no additional costs. How do you power it? Don't you have to spend money? Solar panels. The solar panels power the car. What about oil changes? It has lifetime oil. You don't ever have to change the oil. You don't have to change the oil filter. You don't have to maintain the motor. The motor's like the size of a big lunchbox. Like, I cannot talk highly enough about this automobile. I'm telling you, 4 years, no maintenance. It is real, believe it. So that's the mainstay of my 3 passive investment incomes, and it's not complicated. Put the money in here, you're done. You have to buy the solar, you have to own a house, stuff like that. So that's challenging. That takes a lot of time. But when I started this financial independence journey, I had already owned my own house. So how do you reduce your overhead costs? Well, the first thing is you need to have a plan to get out of debt. I was in quite a lot of debt 3.5 years ago, and now I'm at 0 debt. So obviously with debt, you have to pay interest on that. It's not free. So that is the mainstay of the overhead cost reduction. And I got a lot of good ideas from Mr. Money Mustache's blog post. You might think that this is a meme like blog. It's not. He's really serious about financial independence, and he wants everyone to focus like he does on, helping out the environment, lowering your overhead costs, lowering your expenditures, lowering your carbon footprint, which just happens to synergize with like these 2 investments right here. So if that's what you like to do, become financially independent and you will lower your carbon imprint on the world. Basically, you will, because you will have to. You will be forced to do this in order to save money. But how can you save so much? So the overhead cost reduction. Live close to work. Move to another city. Don't borrow money for cars unless it's a Tesla. I disagree with that point, but Mr. Money Mustache never bought a Tesla. Don't buy stupid cars. Okay, so don't buy like a monster truck. Ride a bike wherever you can. Cancel your TV service. I did that right off the bat 3.5 years ago. Stop wasting money on groceries. We have like kind of wholesale grocery markets here in the United States, and I go to Costco and buy in bulk. Most of you don't have kids. Overpriced cell phones, so you can always get cheaper cell phone service. Life boosting joy of using your own body. So this works 2 ways. You cut down on expenditures in terms of your healthcare costs, and then you ride your bike or walk or do physical exercise like yard work that synergizes with cost reductions. So the other thing that I did is I had a gardener. I got rid of him, and I got rid of my gym, and I just started doing my own yard work, which was like a gym workout that I had to do. So what I noticed was I had a gym membership and never used it. But when I come home and all the shrubs are overgrown, I have to do that because I'm highly motivated to get that work done. And there is many ways that you could just do that aspect and reduce your overhead cost expenditures. One more thing, I did Blue Apron. Here's another idea. Obviously, I'm not telling you guys you have to do this or you're a bad person if you don't do this. Everyone can do whatever they want. It doesn't really matter. It's just what you choose to do. This is what I choose to do. I choose to do YouTube. No one's got like a gun to my head and is like, you have to do YouTube. I did it because I liked it. And then when I found that I liked it, I continued to do it. So this was a huge cost savings and took an initial investment. This is Blue Apron, and they send you meal kits with recipe cards that you could save. I didn't save the recipe cards, but what I did was I learned how to cook, and they're fairly complicated gourmet recipes. And over time, I just kind of like uncomplicated their complicated recipes, and still the food was fantastic. The food's very fresh. But over the course of a year of doing meal kits, I learned to cook on my own. So I stopped buying the meal kits, which were expensive, and then just started going to the wholesale grocery store and started cooking on my own. And most of my meals, are cooked here in home, and I don't really care to go out to restaurants unless I'm with family or friends. And I don't miss it at all. Most of the things were like, I'm going to miss Starbucks every day. I'm going to miss this. I found out that I don't. It was really like stressful, like going to Starbucks rather than cooking my own, like making my own coffee every day, because you have to wait in line and there's a lot of friction to the transactions getting there and everything. So yeah, I stopped doing that as well. But there's a lot of things like that that you can do that are fun. And my final point here is that this is really corny, but my analogy is in the movie The 300, when they go up against the immortals, basically King Leonidas kills one of the mortals himself. And then when he sees that the immortals, quote unquote, could die, you know, he told everyone else, it is possible. You can kill these guys. So I want to tell you guys, it is possible to become financially independent. It's not a pipe dream. I know that it's possible. I can show you the numbers. I'll probably put out more videos in the future in regards to financial independence. I don't know if it's going to be behind the channel membership paywall or the Patreon paywall, but I can tell you that you can achieve it. It's just not an immediate fast food gratification thing. It's a struggle, but after you're done, you're going to be way happier because you're doing things for yourself. Your body is healthy. You're more optimistic about things. You have a lot less stress, and it's very rewarding cooking your own food, knowing that you yourself can provide for yourself. You're independent. You don't depend on anyone else for anything. So that's where I'll leave you. Thank you guys for the Patreon membership and the channel membership on YouTube. I really appreciate it. And we've got a lot more content to come. I'll see you on the next one.